One of the things that's dogged me most of my life is the notion of presents and the meaning of presents. If someone gives us a present, we are supposed to show appreciation and say thank you, or yes. Perhaps I say yes, that's what I've always wanted, or oh, that's nice. Invariably, it isn't what we want. And the idea of being truthful and saying, showing any sort of disapproval is anathema to most people. And I've always wondered why you can't tell the truth and say, no, I don't like it. I always think that if you're not truthful, then the next year you get the same present, and then another year. And I would always work with my partner as you would start unwrapping her birthday presents and then saying, oh, that's really nice, that one to charity, that one to charity, that one to charity, oh yeah, that's okay, or that one to charity. And we'd do this every year. And I would say, well, why not tell the people? Say, no, it's not what I want, or I already have loads of those. But no, we as general as a nation accept the presents that we're given. And it always amazes me why we can't be honest about it. Why can't we say it? Because we say, well, it's the thought that counts. Well, if I get a present that I don't particularly want, there's not much thought in that. Because if you really want to give a present, you would talk to the person and you'd find out what they want. Now, I'm a collector of postcards. I've been for many years. And it is postcards that I like most of all. For years, I would mention it. And I never received postcards. No one gave me any postcards, certainly old postcards. And until my children were grown up and realised that I do like postcards, and then they would start sending them to me. But because of my attitude towards presents, which a lot of people saw as quite hostile, it was agreed in the family that we would stop giving presents. Now, I would spend a lot of time thinking about giving someone a present and what they might like. But I noticed that wasn't particularly reciprocated. People just send what they wanted. So what is the meaning of giving a present? And to me, it's thinking very carefully, what does that person collect? What does that person like? And instead of just giving any present, why not ask and say, well, look, I'd like to give you a present. What would be helpful? And if they say, well, we don't know, then you say, okay, then I'll hold it over for another year. I'll hold it over to a time till you decide what you do want. So this giving. So why do we give presents? We give presents and then we receive presents. And I don't think people really understand what the meaning of that is. It's about balance. So you could give a very, very nice present and you receive a bit of trash in return. And I've had some most dreadful presents, appalling presents people have given me, which reflect maybe the way they think about me. And no thought has gone into it at all. And that's quite sad. And there's not a proper balance then in giving and receiving, which I feel there should be. I mean, we used to give presents to the gods for harvest, and the present sometimes was human sacrifices or slaughter of animals, which we may bury in the field or in a ritual give to the gods. And so that's really where presents, because we gave something that was worthwhile, so that we could, so the people get something back, like a good harvest, etc., or good hunting, whatever they were sacrificing for, giving the present for. There's also another present that always interested me, and that is Santa Claus. And a lot of people don't really have much of an idea about Santa Claus and the giving of presents. Now, there's something very special about Santa Claus, because Santa Claus is this mythical figure, if you like, and when you wake up in the morning on Christmas Day, there is a stocking full of goods. You hope. If you're lucky. You then begin to open them, and because they've come from Santa, you can say whether you, God, what rubbish, oh, I really like that. And you can express exactly how you feel about them, because they haven't come from a person. They've come from a mythical being, Santa. And it's irrelevant who fills up the stocking. What it means is that they belong to you, and you don't have to say thank you, unless you want to say thank you to Santa, but you can like or dislike whatever you have. And I have found people find this very, very difficult. I've seen parents say, well, you don't like it. I took a lot of trouble over that. And you think, wait a minute, this has come from Santa. That's the whole point of it. It's come from Santa. So the person who is on the receiving end of the gift can say what they like about the stocking. They don't have to say thank you. They don't have to show appreciation only to Santa. And giving presents gets involved in a whole emotional tie for people. They give something to tie someone into them, and I think this is unhealthy. So my take is, first of all, that we should, if stockings are given and they're received, then we must allow the person who's receiving the stocking to express whatever they feel about it. That's up to them. And if they want to stop receiving stockings from Santa, they will, I'm sure, let it be known. I personally love the idea of Christmas and stockings, the idea that I can go through it and like and dislike what I want. And sometimes I'm disappointed, sometimes I'm over the moon with what I've got. But having the freedom to express that is lovely. I also, since within my family we don't give so many presents, and it's a more thoughtful process now, this is much healthier. When I can say to children, okay, what really do you need? What is important to you? And therefore, at Christmas you can give a token gift, or at birthdays a token gift, and then later on, when there is something that they really need, then that can be supplied. So I think we need to have a better understanding of presents, why we give them, and what do we hope to achieve, about the balance in giving, and then that extraordinary case when Santa. There's also, I remember, we used to give presents when people had done 50 years at a firm. I was always amazed and quite amused that we gave people a clock. I think the last thing I would want if I was retiring as a present is a clock, however valuable. Maybe garden implements, but a clock to watch the time as I sat in my chair with nothing to do in a flat somewhere, watching the time go by and saying, oh yeah, that was given to me by my firm. Seemed a really innocuous thing to do. Anyway, I'll leave this reflection and for your own judgment and for what it's worth, or what mine is worth actually.